It was an online fantasy, like going to a chat room or playing video games where you steal cars and shoot at cops. It was an online fantasy thing, and when it became a physical in-person thing, I was disgusted.
Most lawyers advise against their client taking the stand, but in Karina Cooper's case, she decided to take the risk.
Did you want your husband dead?
No.
Why would you say that?
Because I have a really sick sense of humor sometimes, inappropriate humor, and I was probably angry. There were times that we weren't getting along the greatest, and like people have said, especially when I drink, I have a sharp tongue sometimes and can say nasty things.
But did the risk pay off? Well, let's see what the jury has decided.
Thanks for joining us on Law&Crime. I'm Elizabeth Millner. Karina Cooper's husband, Ryan, was found with 2 gunshot wounds to his face. Then the case went unsolved for years until Karina was ultimately arrested. Now, prosecutors say she was acting in concert with someone else, a man she was having an affair with. But who pulled the trigger? Well, let's see what Karina has to say about it all.
When did you meet Ryan?
I met Ryan in 2005. In the summer of 2006.
When did you guys get married?
We got married September of 2009.
How would you characterize the nature of your relationship with Ryan in general? I guess, was it good? Was it bad?
Generally speaking, I would call it good, normal.
So married for 12 years in a good, normal relationship. Then the beloved father winds up dead with 2 gunshot wounds while their children were in the home. What on earth happened? Let's go to June 17th of 2021. That's the night the Cooper family changed forever. Karina testified earlier that evening she and her family were at a sports complex before picking up pizza.
So you guys got home maybe around 8:20, and then I assume you're going to eat the pizza?
Eating pizza and doing showers and baths, getting ready for bed.
And who is primarily responsible for getting the kids ready for bed?
That'd be me.
Seems like a normal family outing, right? But like I mentioned earlier, there was someone else in the picture, a man named Huston Danker, who was the other man in Karina's relationship with her husband.
How do we go from cutting his hair to Snapchat buddies?
Flirting a little bit when cutting his hair, talking about, he was having a lot of problems with his girlfriend or ex-girlfriend, the mother of his child at the time. He only had one. Was having some custody issues with her. He confided in me a lot about that, and I guess it kind of originated with me feeling like not a big sister, but an older person to him that has some experience in marriage and children, and just giving him advice and encouragement. And I felt kind of bad for him. He was young and had children, and other people his age didn't. And we became friendly first.
Okay. So, I mean, you raise a good point, because he's much younger. So how do we get to Snapchatting Huston, what we've seen?
Sometimes negative attention is still attention, and I was being showered with attention by him, being told I was beautiful and funny, and I would post pictures of the meal I had made that night for supper, and he'd praise it, or the garden that I planted, and he'd make a big deal out of, why can't I find a woman like that? And it became very flattering to me to be.
Right. So is it fair to say then Huston is maybe giving you some attention that you weren't necessarily getting from Ryan at that time?
Yes.
Karina claims she never planned on leaving Ryan for Huston, but according to Karina's testimony, it seemed like Huston thought there was a possibility she was going to do just that.
Was Huston jealous of your relationship with Ryan?
Huston acted like he was my husband and Ryan was my boyfriend. Like I was, if Ryan and I were together, he acted like I was sneaking around with my husband and cheating on him somehow.
Did Huston talk about Did Huston talk about killing Ryan?
Several times.
Did you ever take him seriously?
No, I thought he was full of crap. He liked to brag about how he knew powerful people and his dad knew dangerous people, and he insinuated that he had been involved in some other crimes.
But you didn't believe him?
No, he's got quite a reputation around town with women and telling tall tales.
If we had the other Snapchat content, would it show these things about Huston going off about Ryan?
Yes, several threats.
What would your reaction be when he's making these threats? How did you handle it?
Laughed it off, used sarcasm, sometimes replied inappropriately, like when he said one time, "Don't use your husband's truck in the morning, there's going to be a bomb planted under it." And I replied, "Gee, thanks for the heads up."
Yeah. Okay. So does that mean, though, do those messages mean that you, or did you, want your husband dead?
No.
But that night, after visiting the sports complex, picking up pizza, and putting the kids to bed, later into the evening, Karina woke up and just saw a pool of blood. And Karina was adamant she didn't pull the trigger or try to cover anything up.
In that living room, did you search for any shell casings?
No.
Did you dispose of any shell casings?
No.
Were you deleting pictures on your phone that morning?
No.
So do you have any explanation for why your phone records would show that?
None, unless I did. I don't know if there's a time relay on it. You know, if it was something that was, if you like delete a picture and then it sits for however long before it's permanently deleted. I don't know how all that works, if that is a possibility, but I was not deleting pictures at the time.
Then when the police get there, why didn't you tell them, Huston shot my husband?
I was so scared. I was scared. I was panicked. I instantly thought I was being set up in one of his plots that he laid out all the time through Snapchat. I panicked.
And then did you continue to lie to law enforcement for years?
I did. I was also being threatened by Huston for over a year and a half afterwards.
What was he threatening you with?
Beginning in September so it'd be September of 2021, he started sending me Snapchats that he knew where I was at. The first one, everybody's been talking about shops, how many of our friends have shops. Some friends of ours, Ethan and Abby Charlie, have a shop in town. He does air conditioning and heating work. We had been at Chris and Ashton's house, the kids and we went into their shop, and the kids were all playing. We were having a few drinks, and while we were all there, I got a Snapchat from Huston that I was now screwing Ethan Charlie and Chris Wilson, and I would screw anything that moved and took care of me because we were there. That was the first of them, and then there were several after. One time he sent me a Snapchat describing what I was wearing when I went out to do cow chores that morning.
So he was continuing to watch you after June 18th.
He was watching me and reminding me about these dangerous people that he knew, and that he knew how to take care of problems, and that he would take out anybody else that was necessary.
And just to establish the timeline, Ryan Cooper was killed in June of 2021, and the case went unsolved until Karina's arrest in February of 2024. And Huston wasn't arrested until 2 months later, in April of that same year.
Ryan was killed with your 3 children home. Would you ever orchestrate the murder of your husband with your 3 kids home?
Never.
Did you participate in the death of your husband?
No.
Prosecutors allege Karina and Huston plotted together to kill Ryan and collect his $500,000 life insurance policy. And during her cross-examination, let's just say things got a little tense for Karina.
You are the lover.
That's what you call him, yes.
What do you call him?
I called him an online inappropriate relationship. When I hear lover, I assume sexual partners. It's just the way I perceive it.
You don't deny you sent that first text on March 8th of
I do not
2021.
deny that, no.
Pardon?
I did send that, yes.
Can you read it?
Read it. I just read this 10 times, I swear, with
You
heart
left out-
emojis. I'm sorry, what?
You left out a love emoji.
I just read this 10 times, heart emoji.
Okay?
I swear, heart emoji. And just felt even harder for you, which I don't think I could have been any more crazy over you than I already was. That book is everything I've ever wanted to hear. You can do anything you want with those boys. You're their daddy. Don't need mom's permission. Cable wants to get back to wrestling. He loves it. He just got his kicked at a tournament and is scared to compete now. Just wants to go to practice. Doesn't want to lose. And you know what the sperm donor said to him after he got his handed to him? Not a word other than it happens. Not let's go home and I'll show you how to get out of that move. Just it happens. They need you so badly. Kate is your football and baseball kid. Kid can throw a damn ball.
The person you just referred to as a sperm donor, that's your husband,
Yes.
Ryan Cooper, who you tell this jury you loved so dearly. That's how you showed your love to Ryan Cooper, correct?
I think we all call the people that we love names at times.
I asked you, is it a yes or no question?
Yes.
Okay. And you're sending this to Huston Danker, the man you now call your online lover?
Yes.
Your husband is a sperm donor.
That's what I referred to him as, yes.
You also told him the kids are yours.
All part of the fantasy.
Is that a yes or no?
It's hard to say yes or no. I feel like that's black or white, and there's a gray area.
Ms. Cooper, did you hear my question?
I did. So, yes. If it must be yes or no, then yes, I clearly said it.
Huston Danker would have woken up to your hands around his correct?
That's what I wrote.
That's what you wrote to him.
Correct.
You are the one who initiates that conversation.
What's that?
You're the one who sends that conversation.
Yes.
A minute later, you write to him expressing thoughts of death to the man that you claim you love called Ryan Cooper. Correct?
I wrote, here's hoping for a rogue semi today. Big accident, no survivors.
Big accident, no survivors.
That's what I wrote.
Your mind, and you should say your mind is pretty dark and twisted, correct?
That's what I wrote in the next message, yes.
On the 12th of March, you write to Huston Danker that you might be pregnant this time next year, and you send 3 heart emojis. And he responds by saying, "Would love you to be pregnant next year for him." Correct?
That's what's written.
That's what you wrote.
Yes.
You yourself wrote those words, correct?
I assume so. I don't have it in front of me, and I can't remember precisely, but I'm going to assume you're correct.
Do you want me to put it up?
Not necessary.
So that was a little gist of how the cross went. The prosecutor even questioned the seemingly suspicious reasoning for Karina to text Huston a particular emoji on the night her husband was murdered.
Cade Cooper is your eldest child with Ryan.
Yes.
Cade loved his dad.
All 3 of them did, yes.
Cade Cooper loved his dad.
Yes.
He slept on the couch next to his dad, as dad slept on the recliner?
That's not why he slept on the couch, no.
Just asked you a question, yes.
So the
or
answer
no.
is no.
That's not why, because he didn't love his dad, or slept on the couch because he didn't love his dad?
Well, which question is it? Why did he sleep on the couch, or did he love his dad? Because yes, he loved his dad.
Okay.
And yes, he slept on the couch.
Next to his father.
Yes.
On the night that Ryan Cooper's life was taken away from him, Cade was not on the couch next to his father.
He was when I went to bed.
When Ryan Cooper's life was taken away from him, Cade was not on the couch next to his father.
No, he was not.
And you know that because, as you've said before, you were up at 3 o'clock and you went to the living room where Ryan Cooper slept on his recliner, and Ryan Cooper was the only one there. Cade was not.
Correct.
So at 3 in the morning, you are aware that Cade Cooper is not on the couch.
Correct.
At 3:30 that morning, at 3:32, 30 minutes after you are aware that Cade Cooper is not on the couch, you send a heart emoji to Huston Danker.
Yes.
So were these messages taken out of context, or are they as sinister as the prosecution claims?
Tiffany Moore told you it's not possible. It has nothing to do with that column of numbers. That column of numbers does not indicate missing messages. That's not all that means. There's been no testimony that that's what that means. The expert that they brought in said, I don't know, I haven't tested anything, and I don't know how the mechanism works. Tiffany Moore is aware of that column of numbers because Ms. Watt asked her about it. It's not like this is a mystery to her. She said it's some proprietary information. I don't know exactly how it works. Nonetheless, it's not possible, based on the information that she has, for there to be additional messages. Regardless, common sense and reason. Read the snaps. Look at what happened. Makes no sense. She didn't say go to sleep. She said go. What are the chances that somehow all the information that's exculpatory, the threats and the additional messages that show up, it's just, I didn't do it. That just somehow that wasn't happening. So Karina wants me to believe. It's like she wants me to believe all the different stories she's told. Makes no sense. She's guilty of murder in the first degree. The state's proven it beyond a reasonable doubt. At the close of evidence, we're asking that you find her guilty. Thank you.
There were 100 other ways that this could have gone down if it was planned and meant to happen by Karina Cooper. She never would have done that with her children home. She never would have put them in a situation where her son is slipping in his dad's blood. She never. And nobody has said that she would have. She did not have any specific intent to kill her husband. She did engage in reckless behavior and talking to Huston and not cutting it off and having all these conversations. It was reckless. But she didn't have any intent to kill him or for him to actually wind up dead. She wasn't even actually going to leave him. She's getting attention from some knucklehead on Snapchat, and she likes it. And she's living in a fantasy and a dream world until he does it.
Again, that'll be up for the jury to decide.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Karina Cooper, guilty of the offense of murder in the first degree, dated this 11th day of July, 2025. And juror number one, is that the jury's verdict?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Would you like the jury polled, Ms. Watt? All right. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, at this point, I'm going to ask that you return to the jury room with Ms. Davis just for a bit. We have a couple matters we need to wrap up here, and then I will come and talk to you in just a bit before I release you from your obligations in this case. So thank you, and we'll see you in just a few minutes.
And the jury reached their decision after about 3 hours of deliberations. Karina Cooper now faces a mandatory sentence of life in prison without the chance of parole. Huston Danker was also charged with first-degree murder. He's scheduled to go on trial in August. Thanks for watching us here at Law and Crime. I'm Elizabeth Millner.